Hi, it's Matt Bisogno here again, and welcome to 3-Week Challenge Part 3. As a reminder, in this challenge our aims are twofold: fun and profit. The challenge is open to everyone, gold subscriber or not. Golders can obviously use everything, while free subscribers should use races of the day and or feature of the day. The key is take your time. This is about practice, a degree of trial and error, paper or micro-stake trading, and introducing good habits. It's broken into 3 weeks, chunks really, as it takes as long as it takes, to allow each component to become familiar and understood before moving to the next. Most of all, I hope that you'll have fun with this and that it will provide an easily introduced framework to underpin your improved horse racing betting. Fun and profit, the GG's way. In the first 2 parts we covered race selection and shortlisting, and in part 3 today we'll look to play up our work so far with bet selection. Choosing the right races in which to bet is the cornerstone of successful punting, and shortlisting separates the contenders from the pretenders. But then we need to make smart bets. Win and each way are not the only games in town. And even if they were, we can still play them smarter. Bet selection is necessarily a bit mechanical in terms of maths and the like, but it soon becomes second nature if you persevere with it. Let's start with the fundamentals. Fundamental number 1. Always, always, always take the best price you can. Fundamental number 2. BOG, or best odds guaranteed, is a huge advantage if you can avail of it. Fundamental number 3. If you're heavily restricted, Betfair starting price, BSP, will generally be optimal. So the recap: have as many accounts as you're comfortable with. Use odds comparison to locate the best price. Gobble up concessions, especially best odds guaranteed, if you can. The specifics of why these components are so important, because of something called EV+, have been brilliantly captured on GG's in Russell Clark's series of articles, which I've rolled up into a report. There's a link to the report download beneath this video. If you are even faintly serious about being a profitable bettor, read the report. And then read it again. So, what are the different bet types and when should we use each? The reality is that there are hundreds of different bet types and hundreds of scenarios against which to deploy them. In a second, we'll look at a few of those. The key to all of them is pressing up a knowledge or value edge. Some bets are inherently EV+. That is, they offer value by definition. Examples include each-way bets in certain field sizes, extra each-way places, rollover pools which already contain other people's money, pool guarantees where money staked in the pool may not exceed the guarantee level. These are on top of free bets, price boosts, and best odds guaranteed. If you've chosen the right race in part 1, and shortlisted at least fairly well in part 2, you'll have one or more opinions in the race, including not having a strong enough opinion. You can play all or none of them. Here's a recent example from the GG's forum, where there's a challenge thread and contributors go through the shortlisting process on a chosen race each day. You can pause the video if you'd like to read through this, and actually I'd recommend you do that because there are some interesting snippets of data, which are all taken, of course, from the GG's race cards and reports. The summary at the bottom was, I'm backing Captain's Run each way, currently at 8-1 BOG, but I might just see if I can get better at 10 AM when the other shops open, and taking an Arizona Glory Saver, currently 11-2 win, but again will sit tight for a little while, bet to cover stakes on captains, perhaps to return a small amount more because I'm greedy like that. In the end, and having watched the market for an hour or so, I made the following plays. Captains is now 14-1, PC Dixon almost the same price. I have this market all wrong by the look of it, though there is some support from 6-1 for Arizona Glory, now 5s and 9-2. Cybalco remains strong at the top and Roll of Thunder being well backed. I have place laid Gold Fields, had a fair bet each way on captains, and might go in again if he goes 16s, saved on Arizona, and backed Go to Court each way, 5 places at 12-1, 2 places at 28-1. This could end up being an expensive race for me. So you can see I've had a multitude of different bet types in the same race. And it worked out like this. Mixed bag about covers it. Cybalco went head to head with Goldfields and broke that one spirit a quarter mile from home. Neither of that pair had history making it, so Russ was wiser than me in swerving the pace angle, for all that it was, once again, the kingmaker. It probably rode more like a 2 1/4 mile race. This was a 2 mile race, given the extended pace duel between that pair, which played into the hands of the stronger stayer and more reliable proposition. He was all out at the line to repel Arizona Glory, who was very well backed late on, went off about 3-1 I think. Roll of Thunder picked up the pieces from far back without ever threatening to win, but did do enough, from my perspective, to nudge Gold Fields out of the 3 and land the place lay. Gold was 4th, just in front of Go to Court, who also got a little back for the each way 5 places bet at 12-1, 12-5 the place. Captain's Run was pulled up after about 3 fences with something having gone awry. When the betting shows a slide like that about an otherwise credible player and then the horse in question pulls up early, it feels a bit stinky. I'll stop short of crying foul and instead, of course, hope that the horse is fine and will be running again soon. PC Dixon, the well-backed outsider, never threatened, and that looks one of the most ill-conceived punts for a while, now 1 from 43 lifetime. Good luck with that project. So these were the bets I made. As you can see on the win and each way bets on the left hand side, I lost £29, mainly because Captain's Run obviously didn't perform to any level. I got a little bit back, as you can see, from Go to Court, which covered a couple of the other losers, but on the win and each way betting, this was a losing race for me. But as you can see in the bottom right, I also place laid at odds of 1.55 Gold Fields for a liability of £49.50 and a profit on that selection of £90. So the £90 win less a £29 loss made for a race profit of £61. And Arizona Glory, who I backed £8 at 11-2, if he had won, that would have been another £44 profit on top of that. Of course he didn't. But as you can see, that I had loads of potential outs here. This was a race where, in truth, I got a little bit lucky with Goldfields just being pushed out of the frame. But I was quite strongly against him as a Fakenham specialist running at Sedgefield, which is a very different track. The point of that example is to show that, having reviewed a race in detail, there are lots of ways to play any formed opinions. Here's another EV Plus example from the same day. This time it was a pool with a guaranteed minimum payout of £10,000 for predicting 6 winners. The pool was unlikely to reach the guarantee level, and I'd already reviewed 2 of the races in the 6, including the one referenced just now. There were strong favourites in a couple of other races, and I expected the cumulative odds to be shorter than the potential pool payout. I played a permed ticket, something else I've written about at length on GG's, also linked to below, and syndicated it, taking 50% myself. We had 15 tickets across the perm, and these are colour coded, so white is a winning ticket, red is a losing ticket, light orange is a 5 out of 6 ticket, and darker orange is a 4 out of 6 ticket. And as you can see, going into the last leg, I wanted 3 or 10 for ticket 1 and 3 to be winners. Sadly, that didn't happen. Number 10 got beaten a nose in an absolutely cracking finish. If that was bad news, the good news was that we had the winner, number 13, on that C ticket, number 9 there, for a fair profit for the syndicate and me. And here is the ticket payout. You can see it The ticket paid £564.14, of which mine was exactly half. A £1 SP accumulator, even with that 14-1 winner in the last, would have paid £1,146.60. The Win 6 dividend was £5,487.74 for a £1 stake. Now, Win 6 stakes are £2, the other pound going towards consolation payouts for 4 out of 6 and 5 out of 6 winners, which in this example accounted for another £80 on top of the £564 win payout from a total permutation stake of £167.80. There are lots of other bet types to consider, such as exactas and trifectas. These are good plays if you have a feeling about a draw or pace bias, and or if you want to be against one or more of the top favourites. Or best odds guaranteed multiples, where you can enjoy the risk-free benefit of price guarantee compounded by having 2 or more winners in the same bet. Now, clearly, strike rate diminishes when we're trying to land doubles or multiples rather than singles, but we get to multiply a price edge in these bets, which can be huge. I'm also currently a big fan, as I've mentioned, of Bet365's each-way extra markets, which I've been able to exploit with the place payout on horses finishing as low as 10th. As you can see, you need to select the each-way extra option, and then you'll see a list of prices getting gradually smaller based on the number of places available. When I think a horse has a credible win chance, I also make a small each-way bet at enhanced win odds with just 2 places, or I back it to win at Betfair SP. If I don't think the horse has much of a chance to win, but I fancy it to outrun its odds, that's when I play each way extra with 5, 6 or as many as 10 places. I take a lower price, which impacts my fractional place return of course, but on what I perceive to be a much likelier outcome. Here's the summary. 1. Have as many accounts as possible in order to be able to always get the best price available to you. 2. Bet with bog whenever you can. 3. Consider other bet types than win and each way. 4. Never shy away from backing more than one horse in a race if you consider each to offer value, i.e. to be wrongly priced in your favour. 5. Take time to understand the maths, or at least the basic mechanics. There are some excellent print and keep handy tables for each way value based on field size and number of available each way places in Russell Clark's report. Download link below. 6. If you have no opinion, have no bet. 7. But capitalise on your opinions. 8. Have fun. The aim is to beat SP or its equivalent consistently, and to enjoy the challenge of doing it. If you can beat the final price market ongoing, you will win, and if you enjoy it, you will persevere, improve and become profitable or more profitable. So that's part 3 of the challenge, the final part. Your task now is to think about your betting setup and put the building blocks, more accounts, greater awareness of bet types and the maths, into place. Thereafter, when you're doing your shortlisting, be asking yourself, how can I press this opinion or these opinions? Have fun with this. Paper trade it or bet to small stakes to start with while you're figuring stuff out, and let me know how you get on. Good luck. P.S. Did I mention that you really should read the report below?